Now I'm checking the compatibility of my lid. I just shave all of that off of the bottom there so there's no ring around my hole anymore. But now I'm going to try to see how this lid will fit on the bottom of this. And when I do that, it does fit on there. But look at that gap. That's way too big a gap. Why is that? It's because there's a ring on the top of this and there's a ring right there. So is there any way to combat that? Because if the ring is okay, it comes down there, so I think that's fine. I think it's more this ring. And again, I can cut that off. Okay, still working on the filter, and actually a day later I had to go do some stuff. I think I've about got everything I need. You can see that I have taken the bucket here, taken it over the other way. I have shaved off the rim. You can see the shavings down there. I'll have to clean those up. But I've shaved off the ring there. Try to get this as flat as I can. This can actually be a little flatter at the bottom there. I might cut a little. The whole thing together. Put the whole thing together, and I'll start with my filter element here with the bottom on it, with the washers and the nut. It's still loose, but not the top. The easiest way I found to do this from this stage is just to take your lid, take your bucket and your lid, and you're going to put your 3 washers you've super glued together on the top of the lid, like so. They're sitting right there. Then I'm going to take my filter, I'm going to put it underneath and through, and let it rest on the ground so I get a little bit of pressure to hold it together. There. Now that's there. Now I'm going to take the bucket and set it on top of that, making sure my ring is steady. Now you can see I've got basically the threaded rod coming up through there. See my washers, I need to make sure they're centered on my hole. Now is where the other elements come in here. I need my washer. Oh, here it is. My washer here. Put that on top of there, like that. And then I'm going to take my castle nut, put that on top of there. There. I'm going to take my fender washer, put it on top of my threaded rod so it rests between the castle nut and my wing nut. Take the wing nut, and now it's time to lock it all down. So I'm going to start tightening both that wing nut and the wing nut on the very bottom of this. Okay, make sure when you're tightening that you don't crack your plastic, because this is only plastic, remember. But when I'm tightening it, I can hear it start to crack if I hold that castle nut. So I don't want to crack it, I just want to get it tight. Alright, so I've got it tightened down there now, right there, and then I'm going to go on the other side, on the bottom. I'm going to tighten it from the bottom down here so that these washers are tight, so there's no leaks. Okay, that's pretty tight. So now I've got a complete unit there that goes up into my bucket. The real test is to see if this is watertight. And the only way to test that, so I'll get some water here, we'll test that in just a second. Okay, so now I'm outside. The only way to really test this, you don't want to test this indoors probably. I guess we need a hose, don't I? Okay, well what I'll do, just take this, put it underneath my faucet here. Extra things in there. Get this ready. Okay, just gonna try to get as much of this as I can in here. My goal is now to see if the water is coming out the filter or it's coming out the crack. So I'm going to look at my seal and see if it's holding. And it appears to be holding. I'm going to double check it. You can see I got water in there now, and it's should be going through the castle nut into my filter. Again, I'm going to look to see if it's coming out the cracks or it's coming out the filter. Feel under there too. I can't feel anything coming out of the seal. Everything's coming out of the filter. So I'm going to let this work for a little while, see how long this works. But I've got, just maybe half gallon in there or something. So we'll see how long that takes to filter out of my faucet. Okay, it's been maybe 15 minutes. I'm checking back at my buckets here, see how it's doing. And all the water is gone. It appears to have come out of my filter. And I've got a bunch of water, whoops, at the bottom. That's not good. If I tilt this to the side, looks like I've got a little leak. I've got to check that out. Okay, I've got a good setup here to show you how this is filtering. And when you look underneath this, you can't quite get my camera under there, I don't think. I can. See, this is coming out of the filter, not out of the seal. So I'm getting good filtration out of that filter. It's working exactly like it's supposed to. That's great. So apparently I have a functional Berkey water filter for roughly, this cost me $20-something, and it works great. I don't know, I'll test some water here in a second. We'll see how. Okay, so now I've got my filtered water, mostly. It looks pretty clean, of course. A few little specks in it, probably from the dirt I had on the filter when I dunked it in. So I'm going to take an ordinary glass, put it in there, and give it a taste. So here we go. It tastes very, very clear. A little cool, very clear. So, there we go. Berkey water filter out of buckets. Appears to work pretty good. So, if you have any trouble making yours, like I say, I got this from Never Enough Ammo, but pretty good system. I don't think I got any complaints about it or any problems with it. I got a little bit of an issue here in my seal. I got to work on that a little bit, but it works pretty good.